Hey folks, appreciate you joining me on this inaugural video for my new channel. My name's Dallas, channel name RTH Alamance, and I thought I'd just take a couple minutes to introduce you to what I'm about, why I thought I'd start this channel and whatnot. The name RTH, everybody should be familiar with that, Return to Home, Alamance, the county I live in. I work about 60 miles from where I live, so RTH is a pretty serious endeavor. I also represent an organization that meets throughout the state, this industry-specific thing, and I also speak nationally for my industry. And those things come into mind, when you're thinking about, what's important to an individual. For me, I want to get home to my wife and kids, right? So realistically, if it's just a regular day at work, balloon goes up, it's at least a 3-day walk home, right? So what are you doing as an individual to prepare yourself in the event that something like that comes necessary? I work in a capital city. There are military bases nearby. There is a nuclear power plant nearby, and we have weather events, hurricanes, snow, ice storms. Any one of those things could force a change of travel plans, right? So that's kind of what I think about. How can I increase those skills? One of the things I'm not going to do is walk home from work one day just to see how it goes. So, what do I do otherwise? Well, this is kind of like what I did today. We're out here in Snow Camp, North Carolina, at the Cane Creek Mountain trails. There's state-run park, and it's a nice walk. But so you're getting some outdoor time walking. Excuse me, a 3-mile walk, so I'm a little parched. But, outdoor navigation, navigating rocks and stuff, navigating wildlife, insects, those type of things. But when you're thinking about, your daily activities, going fishing, what value does that have in RTH? Well, if you're on a long RTH, you might not be able to carry all your food. You maybe need to fish, trap, hunt, whatever. But just getting your gear together, when you start talking about RTH, a bunch of different factors that go into that. And a lot of people don't have to deal with it. I was having a conversation with a kid at work, and I was like, how far, we got to talking about this subject, like, how far you live from here? He goes, about 3 miles. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. But he works for me. I also know he travels all over the county doing service work. I was like, well, what happens if you were at this site? How far are you now? Now he's 30 miles, right? So I'm like, so what are you doing? How you getting home? He goes, I don't know. So we got to having that conversation. So that's part of the deal is educating those that don't know and learning from people who do, right? So what my intention is here, over the course of however long, or even if this works, is just go over different aspects. I really don't think there's a right or a wrong, absolute one way to skin a cat kind of thing. So every idea is good. You start talking about, let's say, camp cooking, which is what I'm going to do here in just a second. Do you take a alcohol stove? Do you take a twig stove? Do you take a gas stove? Do you take MRE heaters? What are you doing? And each one of those has a different application and a different drawback, right? Alcohol stove is great. Takes a little while longer to heat up. You got to carry fuel, right? Gas stove's great. Heats up really, really fast. Got to carry fuel and is loud. Twig stove's great. Fuel all over the place. Don't got to carry it with you. Light. Makes smoke and light. So those type of things, depending on what your tactical situation is, the time you have to prepare a meal, whatnot. That's, that's kind of some of the factors that will affect you. But that's it. I just want to kind of, I'm not here to sell anything. If we get in a situation where I'm getting endorsements from vendors, sending me stuff, we'll be giving stuff away. But right now, I'm just wanting to hear your ideas, share ideas, learn from you guys. For those people, that are just entering into this journey, give them somewhere to start, right? Because I'm sure all of us got bags and bags and boxes of crap that we've gotten over the years that we're not going to use again because, whoops, that was a mistake, or whoops, this is better, or this doesn't suit my needs, or whatever the case is. You're going to have those situations. So with that, what I'm going to do is get my lunch out. My intention, you saw from the video, up on the top of the hill, they're building a tower, a lookout tower. Well, I didn't know that. My intention was to actually put up a 5-point shelter up there today, made out of a poncho, and cook a meal, right? So we're down here in a little campsite, picnic table, and we're going to cook a meal. So apologize for that, but it was real noisy up there, lots of people, equipment, cranes, and a bunch of yapping going on. So figured we'd just come over here where it's quiet and do it. But with that, let me get out the stuff and show you a little kit that I came up with. Nothing special, but a couple unique features about it. And we'll cook something. Cool? Catch you in a minute. So you don't necessarily need to see me, I don't think, for this. But this is my Self-Reliance Outfitters Pathfinder Pantry. And got a couple things in here we'll talk about. This is one of them. This is my brew kit, and I'm going to make a hot beverage. And then this is a little kit I wanted to talk about. The meal we're going to eat. And what we'll cook in our hot beverage. So, alright, so what my intention to do today is to cook this little faux chicken meal. This is a 1-serving pouch, but in order to do so we need some water. So this, what I got here is I didn't make any of this stuff. Well, I made one of the things, but this is 1.26 ounces, and it's everything you need to cook a meal, prepare water, whatnot, in one small container. And that's kind of why I went with it. So I just want to go through the contents, kind of show you what it's about. We'll set it up and we'll get some water going. So with that, talk about the lid in just a second. I always bring a old shopping bag, pack out your trash, right? We want to be good stewards of the environment. Everybody knows about a Bic lighter, right? There's a bunch of different models of these. This is a gas can stand, and the reason I went with this one is because it folds down into a nice shape, nice size. Those other ones that kind of just snap out, those are great. They hold the can better. They're actually better to use than this one, or better, more easily used. But this folds down very small and is able to fit into my container. So that's kind of why I go with this one. I got a MSR gas stove. This was a gift, a Christmas present from old Clint down at he's down in South Kakalaki at Escape to Survive is his channel. Also an RTH guy. What's interesting about him, his RTH is actually Alamance County too, but he lives in South Carolina, so it's more of a bug out situation. But anyway, so he got me that, so we're going to be cooking on that. We'll talk about that in just a second. Also got a little titanium spoon I picked up somewhere, spork I guess, so we got something to eat with. A couple of these little compressed towels always come in handy for cleanup. Little scrubby rag, right? And then of course a gas can and a cup. In the bottom of this, though, this is kind of one of the interesting things. You can see one of these marked with an H. Is they're one of these compressed towels, and I hydrated them, and then I took that and I put some hand soap on it. So now I've got a little rag that I can clean up before lunch, right? And it's dried out, you know, it's not going to get all your stuff. You don't got to carry soap with you. And the other one that I've got it with dish soap. So take and rinse my hands off here, right? And I can actually hydrate one of these little towels and use it to rinse myself off with. But anyway, they're just for, you know, something else, some little cleanliness thing. It ain't, you know, hurting much to carry a little something to keep clean, right? Anyway, so about the what you call it there, the cup. I got that cup. I guess it's just a titanium cup off Amazon. It's light. It's one of the key features, but a couple of more important features to me, and I'll go through them here in just a second as soon as I get this rag out. Wipe my hands off. All right, so this titanium cup, a couple things about it. Got a big handle, you know, important for getting stuff off the fire. Okay, it's got a bail with this little notch, so in the event that you didn't have your setup here for a fire or a gas grill and you had to cook over fire, you can actually hang this over a fire, so that's always good. Another really important one is it's graduated. It's got, so I can have measurements in here to know how much water I need. And for this one is 400 milliliters, so I'm gonna go to the 400 milliliter without making it all gooey and runny or too dry or whatever. And finally, it has a lid, and the lid has a strainer in it. So if you were cooking some pasta or beans or something, you could pour out that stuff. Anyway, so that's the joy of this particular cup. But what we're going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and set up this grill. Seeing if I can get this in the shot and get us some water going for this faux. Okay. All right. So. All right. So I'm going to put about 400 milliliters in here. Alright, that one's empty. Got my other water here. Okay, that's 300. Go to touch over 4 because I know we'll evaporate some. Because what's interesting about this package is it actually says to put boiling water in there. It doesn't say hot water, it says boiling water. So there we go. You know, it's talking about the noisiness of the grill. Let me make sure this thing's in frame. Open up the package. Alright, it says tear the package open. Remove the oxygen absorber and the lime. Got a lime seasoning package. That'll be fun. Alright, let's see here. Alright. Lime seasoning package. Oxygen absorber. Alright. Got a little more than 1 cup, 400 milliliters boiling. Yes, boiling. Water the bag. Stir and hang out for 10 minutes. So while we get that thing going, we'll do some tea after that. We'll let that thing get to boiling. But yeah, so this is a pretty easy way to put a meal together for you know, lunch. Like I said, cooking outside, you know, there's a couple different ways to do it, you know, but we'll get back with you when this water's boiling, and we'll go ahead and start the process. Alright, you guys can see that I went ahead and put the lid on and put the windscreen up because it's getting a little windy, but the water's boiling now. I'm going to go ahead and cut this back. Cut that back a little bit and go ahead and pour it into our deal here. Oh, that's a little warm, so I'm going to use this as a little pot holder. I'm going to pour that all into our mix and give it a stir, as it said. Alright. We'll close it back up, let it sit for 10 minutes. Alright. And then I'm going to start our hot beverage, which is going to be, for all you Star Trek fans out there, Earl Grey hot. So I'll go ahead and get that on the boil, cut that back up a little bit. But this is the, it's a little loud. Let me cut this down a little bit. So what I got here is the Pathfinder brew kit. And basically what it does is I pull this off. This will sit down in there and I can add my tea leaves. And then put this lid on it and it'll steep. So I'm going to go ahead and get that going. And we'll get back with you guys when the water's done boiling. Alright folks, so you can see we've got water's all boiled up for our hot beverage. I'm going to pull this lid off and go ahead and put on, I put some Earl Grey in my deal here. I'm going to put that in there and add that lid. Let that sit there and steep a couple minutes. Other than that, we are still sitting here waiting on our pho, which is extremely hot. We got another 3-4 minutes on that. As far as how I take my tea, I like to use sugar in the raw. So I'm going to go ahead and see about adding my sugar. This thing's pretty warm. Tea's looking pretty good. This is a bigger container than I would normally use for making my brew, but it is what it is. We will deal with it. I gotta say deal with it. We'll deal with it by adding extra sugar. Stir that up a little bit. Put that back on in there. Put that lid back on there and let that sit and steep for a couple minutes. Or a minute or two. But yeah, this Pathfinder kitchen's pretty good. This generally, I've got a RTH bag in my car, of course, but I'm using and we'll go over this at some time. I'm using a Marpat Marine Corps backpack, right? But and I've also got the assault pack that goes to it. So what I've done is I've taken and added like a supplemental. So I've got all my stuff I need to walk home in the backpack. In the assault pack, which I don't keep in the car, I've got a frying pan, a couple of nested pots, this pantry, which has, normally it would have sugar, tea, rice, beans, pasta, eventually some flour and some, like maybe some baking soda, some wooden utensils I made, you know, spatula and spoon and all that stuff. But just generally, just stuff to, like if I wanted to go camping. So it's like an add-on pack for camping. But anyway, so clean up some of this other junk. Like I said, I did have to put the windscreen up because it's actually supposed to rain today. It's not supposed to rain for another 3 hours, 4 hours or so, but you never know. But other than that, we are in pretty good shape here with our meal. Get this dude out. It says I'm supposed to add this natural lime packet, so we'll go ahead and do that. Stir it up, see what's going on. It's definitely a faux soup looking deal. What am I adding here? Let's see. Oh, it's like almost like a salt. Like a lime salt, I guess. I don't know. But we will give that dude a stir. It's got a bunch of noodles in there. Doesn't look too bad. Still pretty hot though. I mean, real hot. I guess we put it in there boiling. So anyway, so I am gonna go eat something. Y'all don't want to watch me stuff my face, and I'll come back here in a little bit and sign off with you guys. All right, folks, done eating. This is me all packed out. Pho is good. Probably not a good choice for today. It's hot out here, and it was good pho because my nose started running. So tea was good. Hope you enjoyed the show. Just think about, you know, how you're addressing your preparedness for whatever your journey is. Let me know what you think in the comments. Hopefully my speaking ability, talking to nobody except the camera, and filming ability, I'm on a phone right now, will improve over time based on feedback. And love to hear your thoughts, love to hear your questions, love to hear your comments. Want to engage with you guys and just get better at what I'm doing. But other than that, get out there and master the journey. Have a good day.